talking. All of a sudden, Julie comes in and she looks at me and she looks at John, and she says, 7 businesses in 10 minutes. And I go, I'm sorry, what do you mean 7 minutes? Well, I just VIP'd 7 businesses in 10 minutes. And it was like she'd gone into a strip, like a strip mall that had 7 different businesses, and went into each one and said, "Hi, my name's Julie." Blah, 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 blah. It's like it was like, whoa, that's what we're talking about.
Whatever it takes.
Yep.
Are you looking for a way to drive growth, sales, communication, and retention in your academy? Kovar Systems 6-month Program Director course is designed to help members of your team thrive in the important role of Program Director. With step-by-step training, we will cover a wide range of topics, including prospect follow-up, overcoming objection, and securing enrollments. Our program will teach your team members to effectively communicate the values and benefits of martial arts, which can be a game changer in securing more enrollments at your academy. Our next 6-month course starts on this date, so don't wait and visit our site, www.kovarsystems.com, to get your team enrolled in the upcoming course. Again, that's www.kovarsystems.com. Enroll now and get ready to see some real results in your business.
Welcome to the Satori Lifestyle Satori Masters Podcast, the ultimate resource for ambitious, hardworking school owners that want to get their business and their life to the next level. My name is Dave Kovar. I'm a lifetime martial artist, business owner, speaker, and author. My goal is to empower listeners with the knowledge and the tools they need to break through barriers and really get their business and their life to the next level. Thanks for watching and enjoy. Welcome to the Satori Lifestyle Satori Masters Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Kovar, and with me today is Paul Duarte. How are you, sir?
I'm great, thank you, sir.
So Paul and I have actually known each other for 50 years. He started the same martial arts school I did with Hanchi Bruce Jutnik back in the mid-'70s, and we probably were in a class or two together, and then you kind of, life got in the way, probably kids and marriage and all that kind of good stuff.
Sure, yes.
And so I didn't see him again until he enrolled in our program in 1990.
Sure, actually in 88 when I brought my son into the program.
Was it 88 when your son came in?
88,
okay,
yeah.
And you started in 90. You had to, took him a couple years to get off the sidelines.
Nice, like one of those parents sitting in the bleachers.
Yep. And then, so he worked for us part-time for several years. You were a service manager by day.
Yes, sir.
And he would teach a couple nights a week. And at the school, actually in the room that we're in right now is at our headquarters school in Carmichael. And this school, back when you were teaching part-time for us, we had 900 members in this locations before we went to multi-locations. And then eventually we managed to encourage him in 1996 to come to work for us full-time.
Yes, sir.
And so he is a rock star instructor. And what happened is when we started our expansion in the early 2000s, Paul Duarte opened up our Laguna School, which, by the way, is by a lot of counts our most successful location now. But this would have been 2005? 2004 is when we opened.
Right.
And you got that school from 0 to 300 members in 1 year.
Yes, sir.
Which very few people ever did. And I'm going to ask you more about that. But eventually, we took him off the floor, and I'll be honest with you, Paul is like a total warrior. But his body has given him some challenges along the way, and I couldn't keep him from doing diving shoulder rolls during class. He's like, Paul, you can't. Okay, I won't do it anymore. And what do you know? Next class, he's demonstrating a diving shoulder roll. And anyway, so what he's been doing the last 10-ish years now is coaching other martial arts schools.
Yes, sir.
Through Kovar Systems. And so what I want to ask you, first off, give me a bit of a background about why you started martial arts in the first place.
Gosh, like so many people that grew up in the 60s, the show Kung Fu, and then of course in 73 when Enter the Dragon came out, and I was always mystified by the martial arts, and it was just intriguing to me, and then had the opportunity to get started in 75 with Bruce Jutnik, trained for just under a year. But yeah, it's something that always fascinated me, like so many people. And so you got your son Jason, by the way, Jason Duarte is an amazing martial artist in his own right. He's a 5th degree black belt with us and actually teaches at the Laguna School full time, and it really, an amazing kid. But he started in 88. And then you sat on the sidelines for a couple years. Yes, sir. What took you so long? You never asked me.
By the way, there's some truth to that, guys. There's some truth to that.
Yes. Yep. Well, by that, I say that jokingly, but so many of your parents in the stands are like me. Oh wow, martial arts so cool, gosh, but we don't have the nerve to step out onto the floor until somebody asks.
Do you remember, did someone ask you, how did you end up on the floor? You know, was it you just, did you just say, no, it's time?
I thought it was time because my son kept asking me to help him with stuff and I didn't know. And so to be able to bond with him is really the...
And I think this is an important point because like, you know, you school owners that are listening, is that right now there are tons of parents in the stands watching their kids that are one conversation away from training.
Yes.
Yep. And so, okay, you started training with us, and then tell me some high points of training, some low points. You know, how did we get started teaching? I don't even remember. Did I ask you? How did you start the process of teaching?
Well, like so many of us who are running schools, you have altruistic people in your student body, and you recognize that I was one of these people that always help put pads away, help that student who was struggling with a move, this kind of thing. And you would say, hey, could you help this person here with this? Or, hey, you know, there was maybe a big class and there wasn't any help, so you'd ask me to hold pads. And then one thing led to another. And next thing, you know, there I was.
All right. Now let's move fast forward. So now you're training with us. You're at your job here at the Carmichael School from 96 till 2004. That was 8 years. Were you here teaching full time? Is that what you were doing?
No, actually it was part-time.
Oh, and you were out in the pocket for a while as well.
Well, that was a good period for me because I grew into the role of an instructor and actually manager. I didn't realize I was being groomed for all of it because during that time when I was working part-time until from 96 to 2004, I rotated between all of the campuses.
Got it. Okay.
Pretty much worked in every capacity, and that was so beneficial.
Yeah, and then I know you've been to a lot of different schools and a lot of different job descriptions. So now 2004 rolls around, boom, you're the head instructor at Laguna. And by the way, did Patrick Kelly start with you at the same time?
Shortly thereafter. It was a couple months. I think,
Patrick Kelly, who's still the head instructor at the Laguna School, has been there pretty much the whole time, right? And that school's rocking it. But so what did you do? Give us some specifics. How did you get the school from 0 to 300 members in a year?
It was actually your words. The month before, I was training in one of the other rooms, and you walked up to me and you said, Mr. Duarte. Yes, sir. Mr. Duarte, you're going to be opening up Laguna here next month, and I know you want to be successful, and I know you will, but I just want to share some words with you. And you said, in order for you to have the success that you want, you're going to have to be prepared to do some things you're not going to feel like doing. And then you walked away. And at the time, I had no idea what you were talking about. And then I realized what you were talking about. In order to be successful, it's 24/7. You can leave no stone unturned. It's like every week you got to be tapping the pencil. What can I do to grow my school? What can I do to grow my staff? You got to be hungry. You got to do things that most people aren't going to want to do. Stand in front of a grocery store, passing out guest passes until the security guard tells you to leave. Hanging door hangers on people's doors, a lawn sign, things of that nature.
You understand we're dating ourselves. This is pre-social media, guys. Not that you couldn't do it now.
Totally.
I want to put a caveat around there. I think 24/7, I wouldn't take that literally as much as figuratively. Like, you got to be all in, right? And you were certainly all in. And I know what I would sum up that experience, and still to this day you're good at this, but what would sum up that first year and you getting to that level is you had a sense of urgency.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like do it today type of mindset. And so give me some, because you've done as much grassroots marketing as anybody to do that. Give me some of the things that you would do to generate leads, because we'd never been to the South area where this school was, so we didn't really have a following out there, and not really a reputation because it was pretty far away from our other locations. So what did you do to kind of build that momentum?
Well, I began by recognizing that I needed to own my area, 1 to 2 mile radius. And so I immediately began to establish strong relationships with the local merchants. I wanted to make sure that I was the karate guy in that 1 mile radius.
So I want to stop and talk. This is so important, and it's so overlooked. And by the way, I'm all about getting the strongest social media presence you can get. It does a lot of good for you. But let me tell you, old school grassroots is as powerful now as it ever was. As a matter of fact, I think in a lot of ways it's more powerful because so few people are doing it. And so if you didn't catch that, it's like, all right, within a mile or two of your school, to go into every business and get to know them.
Yes. There's a book by Malcolm Gladwell, Blink.
Yep.
And in it, he talks about mavens. He mentions a person who's a maven. So a maven is essentially like you or I have 50 Facebook friends, and we consider ourselves fortunate. A maven has 500 Facebook friends and communicates with all of them. And so I sought out who are the maven mothers in my school. And I found 2 of them. And those 2 moms ended up generating me 20 students each because I hate to use this term, worked them. I made sure that they knew that I was going to be the best instructor for their child, that they were going to get their money's worth, that every time they came in, they felt, this is our place. It was their third place, as you say.
You know, I was out at that location last night, okay, and I taught a part of a class, and I was observing, and I had this mom come in. Mom sit in the stands, and afterwards she had an older brother that was in the advanced class, and her younger sister had just started. She was a white belt. And she came up to me and she goes, Mr. Kovar, I just want to let you know, this is my place. I love this place. I love what and it was just exactly what you're talking about. And by the way, that new enthusiasm from new students are always the best source of referrals. Yes. The bottom line is that, do you remember back in the day when we used to paintball as a team? Did you ever go out with us paintballing? You were probably working full time still then. This was in the mid. So, quick story. So, I have a friend. His name is Bob Grakowski. That's who we both know. He's your friend as well. And Dr. Bob, he's a chiropractor, and we've both known him forever. And anyway, so this would have been about 90. It was before kids, so this would have been early 90s, 92. So you had a full-time job. That's why you couldn't play with us. And so he invited me to go paintballing one day with him and a couple of his other chiropractic buddies. And I got hooked. My brother went too, my older brother Tim, and so we got hooked to play paintball. So I had a black belt, a parent of one of my black belts that owned Action Paintball course out in Ione. He had the course. So he gave us the key to we could go out there anytime we wanted during the week because they didn't have weekday games. And by the way, just to show you the difference between my older brother Tim and I, so I decide I'm going to surprise him with I buy him a paintball gun, but it's this $89 cheapo Kmart gun. And little do I know, at the same time, he surprises me with a gun. I'm not even exaggerating, but it was this custom made. It was called the Hurricane. It was the top of the line. And anyway, so here's my point of this paintball and how it relates, is that I probably got 50 people started in paintball, okay? And I played hard. I even competed a couple times for about a year and a half. And then I had a child, and I think I've played twice since then. But here's my point. That new enthusiasm is super important. So you guys, those new students are the best source of referrals.
Yes, definitely. And what I would do is, and all of you out there, you have a parent that says some positive thing about my Johnny did this or my Johnny did that. Or a student that says, great class, sir. Never miss an opportunity. That's a golden opportunity to say, geez, thank you so much. Hey, tell a friend, won't you? Just that alone. And they will. They will, because they're enthusiastic about your program enough to be able to say, great class, sir, by simply saying, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Please tell a friend.
Absolutely.
They will.
And it's nowadays, in this day and age, to add on the fact that would you give us have you given us a 5-star review yet? Great. Please do so.
Attention all martial arts professionals and business owners.
Prepare to ignite your passion and sharpen your skills.
Join us at ProMAC International, the ultimate gathering of martial arts excellence in Carmichael, California from May 16th to the 18th.
Unlock new opportunities, forge lasting connections, and elevate your business to new heights.
Don't let this chance pass you by.
Secure your spot now. Go to ProMACconference.com. Let's shape the world of martial arts for the better. So now I want to fast forward. So, probably you've been coaching how long now?
8 years, sir.
8 years coaching. He's, I would very openly say he's our most popular school coach. He's got great longevity with his clients. And so basically that's what you do now is you talk to school owners all day, every day.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so tell me, first off, what are the commonalities? What have you learned from coaching about what you see that separates people that they're successful with their schools and not?
The difference between a successful person and somebody who's not? Well, the willingness to do those things which you're not going to feel like doing, and there are times where as owners, we maybe don't like doing birthday parties, so we don't. As owners, we don't like doing some of the things that perhaps if we did, we might be able to improve our schools because it's out of our comfort zone. And so we don't. And so instead of hiring somebody to do those things for us, they get passed by. And then so we don't take advantage of opportunities as much as we should. And also a hunger. You've got to have a hunger and never say die attitude as well. And also a plan. Develop a plan and work that plan, and then revisit the plan, and then rework that plan, and never give up. And
all right.
It right
well,
there.
I want to touch on a couple of those points you just talked about. The first one that you were talking about, as far as got to get out of your comfort zone. I would remind everybody: can you have a successful school and never have done a birthday party? Of course you can. right? If you hate birthday parties, then you don't have to do birthday parties, although it'd be great. It's a great way you should get someone to do it. Can you have a successful school and never have done a school talk? Yes, of course you can, right? But the bottom line, you don't have to do everything, but you got to do something.
Yes.
Yes. You got to kind of pick so what we do is we have almost like a menu of all these different things you can do to generate new students. And you don't have to do everything, but pick a few things and then work the heck out of it.
Yes. That's why I mentioned about leaving no stone unturned. It really depends on the level of success that you want. Everybody aspires to a certain level of success. What is that level of success? See it clearly in your mind, the goal that you want, see your future, and then work backwards. What do I lack to get myself there? And then if you don't have the resources or the help, get a coach or get somebody to help you down that path. But whatever you do, establish a goal and then work it and never give up and you'll be successful.
Yeah, well, I'm amazed by how many people fiercely defend their mediocrity. It's like I can think of this one guy that I was coaching, and a good kid, a very talented martial artist, really, and a good teacher too. So he opened up a school, and we were helping him coach. And I would call him, and I'd say, we'll say his name is Bob. That wasn't his name. And, hey, Bob, how you doing? Oh, good. What are you working on? Well, right now he's barely making the rent. He's not making any money. He's okay because his grandmother is bankrolling the school. Okay, and this guy's probably in his late 20s at the time, so he's got a little time. And he's got like 35 members, so he's covering his rent basically. And I go, what are you working on? Well, I'm calling it what he is working on. One day he's working on his advanced black belt curriculum. He's only been in business for 4 months. He has nobody even a yellow belt yet, and he's worried about that. I go, dude, what are you doing, Bob? Forget that stuff, man. Get out and hustle. Yeah, okay, I know I should. I just really want to get this out of the way. Well, next week I call him back and, what are you working on, man? Well, did you do how much promotional stuff? Well, I've been working on the new logo. I've been painting it on the wall, So he was busy. In his mind, if someone said, man, you put a lot of time in your school, he was there, spent a lot of time, but avoiding the important things.
Yes. Effective versus efficient.
Talk about the difference between effective versus efficient.
Well, I am really being efficient at cleaning the bathroom. But is cleaning the bathroom what I really should be doing right this moment, or should I be following up on my appointments? Things of that nature. You're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Exactly. And by the way, if the bathroom is dirty, we want to have a clean bathroom, but maybe you just cleaned it 20 minutes ago. That's your comfort zone. So you go clean it again. You know what I'm saying? Or you polish the floors versus get out and meet the business across the street from you, right? Do you, of course, remember Julie Momola?
Yes.
Julie Momola was a program director at our Waterman School when we first opened another location, and she was a rock star. She's now her and her husband now are missionaries in Bhutan, the country of Bhutan. And I ran into her. She was back visiting family, about a year and a half ago. And I saw this lady running down the street, and I recognized her. And I go, I rolled down the window. Hey, Mr. Kovar. She was back visiting her, But anyway, when she was a program director for us, she was really good. But I remember one time I show up at the school, and it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm going to meet with her and John McLean, right? Well, another gentleman that worked for us for years. And I get there, and John's there, and we're having this talk, and all of a sudden Julie comes in, and she looks at me, and she looks at John, and she says, 7 businesses in 10 minutes. And I go, I'm sorry, what do you mean 7 minutes? Well, I just VIP'd 7 businesses in 10 minutes. And it was like she'd gone into a strip, like a strip mall that had 7 different businesses, and went into each one and said, "Hi, my name's Julie." Blah, 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 blah. It's like it was like, whoa, that's what we're talking about.
Whatever it takes.
Yep.
What just depends on, again, to what level of success do you aspire? And then that's the level of effort you've got to put into it.
Yeah, and by the way, it's all about balance, right? You've got to, if you want to be successful for decades, not for years or months, you've got to have balance in your life.
Yes,
you got to have time off and everything. But when you first get something going, or your numbers aren't where you want, sometimes you have to roll your sleeves up and just bust your butt, right? Work really hard.
Yes.
And so now let's talk about retention. What do you see in schools that have good retention? What has been your experience?
They begin at the retention starts when the person walks through the door, establishing that firm relationship with that parent. Know more than their name, their address, and their phone number. Know why they walk through the door to ensure that you're going to service their needs. and then ensure that the entire team is cognizant of what those needs are and address those needs on an ongoing and regular basis, almost daily. And every single time they come in, that there's got to be a connection with that mom. The student alone can't be the only one that knows that you knew they were there.
Got it.
The parent needs to know that you knew they were there. So that parent, again, feels like this is their third place, that program director isn't somebody who is there to sell you the program. That program director is just another one of the moms that happens to work at Kovar's, or another one of the dads that happens to work at Kovar.
This is really an important, point that you're making. And of course, this is, I'm bragging here, but this is my 46th year of running a martial arts school. And so it's really been interesting to see, and I'm pretty conscious of what's going on in the industry and what the trends are. And I've always been I've been tuned into the pulse for the most part of the industry. I feel like I know it pretty good, right? And there's been different phases where I remember, first going to Tom Hopkins sales training, and it was, how to close, how to the counters when they say I got to talk, And I tell you what, a little sales training is good. Don't get me wrong, okay? But the bottom line is that our product should mostly sell itself. There doesn't take. We're really registering people.
Yes,
it's kind of like
yep.
if someone comes in for the first time, you've got to make sure that you show them the values and benefits of the program,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then it doesn't have to be slick and fancy. Here's the prices. Let's get started. I mean, it doesn't have to be this close up that door, and it doesn't be fancy or high pressure or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Have a good product, charge top dollar. Make sure you show your value, and make sure you make people feel good about the program, and back it up with great service, and watch what happens.
I'd like to piggyback on that right there. When you walk into a Mercedes dealer, presuming you've got plenty of money, okay, you make a lot of money. You walk into a Mercedes dealership, the salesperson doesn't have to sell you that car. You know that it's the finest production automobile on the planet. You want to buy that car. So when people walk into your program, your school, you don't want to sell them on your program. You need to present your program in such a way that they say, I want this for myself. I want to buy this. So that way there's no buyer's remorse later, or whether they realize, this isn't just for me. This isn't, exactly the thing for me. So I'm telling you, it's a matter of establishing a good rapport with the families, and then getting to know the Cheers. Create the Cheers. Some of you who may be a little young there, Cheers was a show sitcom back in the 80s where, boy, it was a bar, but it wasn't just a bar. It was your third place. Everybody, they had work, they had their home, and then they had Cheers.
And everybody knew their name.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think what's really important is that this can't be lip service. And what I see is there's what Stephen Covey talks about, the personality ethic versus the character ethic. And what he's talking about is character is who you really are, personality is who you project, right? And that how for long-term success, your character has to be in line. And I know a lot of people that have amazing personalities. They can say and do all the right things, but their character doesn't always back it up. And people like that usually don't stay in this business for a long time. So
Winnie Callahan's expression. Callahan's martial arts in Massachusetts.
By the way, she's got both. Just to be clear, she's amazing.
So Winnie Callahan, she's an expression. She says, if I take care of all of the students that I have, I will have all of the students that I need. And by that, ensuring that every single person, one at a time, is being taken care of, not just as a group.
So I was just out at their place, Richard and Winnie Callahan. They have an amazing school in a suburb of Boston.
Yes, sir.
And I was just out there a month and a half ago doing an event. And here's Richard Callahan. It's a husband and wife team. They do a great job. He is in the car. He's got a bunch of cards. They are good job cards that he personally, after 30 years, the team he's mailing them that day, because they're so good about all those details. So kind of the other thing when it comes to retention, and you touched on it, but just try to make it really clear, because I think simply, right? And that is that if someone wants to buy and stay, is going to enroll in your program and stay with you, they got to like you. For the bottom line is that they got to like you. I think sometimes in martial arts is about respect, certainly, right? But it's also they've got to respect and also like you. Yes. So persuasion powers, likability, enthusiasm, and trust. Those are the things that go into that.
Yes, sir. Right.
Good. All right. Well, any words of wisdom for anything? I know we just brushed on some general stuff. Any words of wisdom to all those aspiring school owners and successful school owners out there?
Gosh, we've really touched upon a lot of points. You've just got to be hungry. You can't just say, okay, I worked very hard. And I get it. You need to develop a team around you. Okay, all right, yes. Find the right people. Ensure that you're hired on the basis of attitude, intelligence, integrity. Never deviate from that. Establish solid systems to plug those people into. Keep working it. Keep revisiting your goal, and you're going to be successful.
Good stuff will happen, man. Bottom line is, some days you walk away thinking, I had a good day. Other days, maybe not so much, but you keep showing up and doing your job. Well, I know that you and I we've known each other a long time. We have a pretty tight relationship, and I tend to harass Paul a lot in a lot of different ways. But sincerely, I love and respect you and appreciate having all the team over the years.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Are you a martial arts instructor looking to improve your teaching skills and build a strong team of future instructors? Well, look no further than the Satori Alliance, an international association of martial arts instructors. Our mission is to positively impact the global martial arts community by establishing a shared level of martial arts instruction, professionalism, and continuous learning. With our instructor certification program, you'll gain the confidence, communication skills, and classroom management techniques to run a professional and well-run martial arts floor of any age group. We invite you to schedule a free consultation with one of our program directors who can evaluate your instructor team's size, schedule, and training content. We'll outline the Satori Alliance master steps that have helped build and maintain strong teams of instructors. To learn more about the Satori Alliance and schedule your free consultation, please visit our website at www.thesatorialliance.com/podcast. That's SATORIALLIANCE.com/podcast. Join our community of passionate martial arts instructors today.
Thank you for tuning in today to our podcast. I hope you found it valuable and inspirational. To stay connected, please subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you go for your podcasts. If you enjoyed today's show, please give us a 5-star review. And we really sincerely would appreciate some feedback. Your feedback helps us to create high-quality content that will help others in the future. If you'd like to follow me, you can go to Dave Kovar on Facebook or Hanchi Dave Kovar on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on next episode.